Podcaster Stephen A. Smith took a caller's call where the listener tried to convince him that every Republican has mental illness for supporting Donald J. Trump. Stephen A., a Democrat himself, I think the caller was expecting sympathy and rapport. What he got instead was uproar. Listen to his reaction.
In some of these people, Stephen.
Well, not all of them. Nope. You don't get to do that. Don't talk to me about mental illness on the side of the right. But you have people talking about transgender without parental consent, and men transitioning to women and playing in women's sports and thinking that was okay, and people could be incarcerated and they could have sex changes and stuff like that. Oh, no. You don't get to sit up there and just point to the right about that and not act like there wasn't craziness on the left too. I'm a moderate who primarily votes Democrat. And I'm here to tell you something right now. I don't recognize this left. Or not this one. Not the one that I've been seeing over the last few years. I'm a moderate who will lean left on everything but dollars, meaning taxes. I can't stand high taxes in California, New York, New Jersey. Okay? I'm a fiscal conservative with my money. I'm liberal with everything else. And I'm still appalled by how far left the left has leaned. It's disgraceful. No common sense. And oh, by the way, when you talk about woke culture and cancel culture, don't come to me with the Republicans. It wasn't the Republicans that was trying to get people fired for pronouncing the wrong pronoun. That's the left. And you're appealing to a community, and in the meanwhile, you're turning your back on black folks who supported you since the 60s. Don't get me started with all of that. I got a lot of problems with Trump. I got a lot of problems with some of the things that I've seen from the Republican side. Most recently and then more immediate is the Affordable Care Act and the fact that they still haven't had a plan. All these damn years you had an opportunity to have a plan, and we still wait for the GOP to have a damn plan. You holding up everything, but you ain't got no damn plan. That's disgraceful. But I'm not going to act like it's just them. Oh, hell no. The left, the extreme left is what I'm talking about, not the moderate left. The extreme left.
All right. He goes on, but whoa, did he go off? Don't talk to me about you guys thinking that Republicans all have mental illness, because look at what we're dealing with in the Democrat Party. Hillary Clinton's private lawyer, Marc Elias, the man who helped push the Russia hoax that nearly destroyed the country, as well as the man that changed over 200 election laws with mail-in ballots to get Biden selected, is now telling Democrats on live TV that black Democrats have lost their voting power and that the GOP wants to make sure that no black Americans are ever elected into office ever again. Listen to him as he panics on live TV over on MS Now.
They can't imagine that there are any black elected officials who are elected on the merits. I mean, we know California's map right now is a partisan gerrymander. We know that because Gavin Newsom passed a partisan gerrymander. We know that because the courts adjudicated a partisan gerrymander. Sam Alito said California was a partisan gerrymander. But we are going to see Republicans, not just in Alabama and Louisiana and Mississippi and South Carolina and Georgia, where it's bad enough. We're going to see them try to use this to try to delegitimize, to try to say it is illegitimate for any community of black voters to elect their candidate of choice, whether they make up 50% of the district or 70% of the district or 7% of the district, and that every black elected official is somehow suspect. And this is what I meant when I said this is the worst opinion of my lifetime. It is not just what Calais did to Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, but it is what it has unleashed and what we are going to continue to see. And so we all need to fight back in court.
All right. So these guys want racism to end, yet everything is about race. And they are constantly berating their own voters. Oh, you'll never have anybody in office ever again. The one lone black district was just taken away, even though it's literally been controlled by a white dude for almost 20 years now. I mean, he wants to make it seem like the GOP is only whites, evil whites, white supremacists, the white-only party. But in this current 119th Congress, there are 23 non-white Republicans in the House of Representatives, according to Pew Research, not according to me. That count includes all Republican members who identify as black, Hispanic, Latino, Asian American, and Pacific Islander. Republicans have many different races right now that are running for office, and they are doing well in their races. So their political races, right? So it's amazing to me how they say in the Democrat Party they want to end racism, yet they make everything about racism, and it's always about blacks, right? Oh, there's never a problem with Hispanics. There's never a problem with Latinos. It's because they're trying to control the black vote, because the black vote is the tipping point, right? Like imagine something that needs just enough weight to tip one way or the other. That's the black vote, right? And they're trying to control that, but they try to control it through fear and telling them that they're always oppressed. That is not the situation. The GOP, we will happily take all of those people. We will take them all. I mean, I would love it, right? We're a big tent party. Now, honestly, I don't feel bad for these Democrats. They use the race card to divide us, not to unite us. They lie and they cheat. They gerrymandered for years while the GOP sat back politely, allowing them to take over the country. Well, no more. No more. It cannot happen anymore. President Trump is teaching us exactly how to fight back. But let me show you a video about exactly why they are panicking.
These competitive districts end up, because even in redistricting, they weren't able to make everything solidly this or that. I think it was Louisiana that if they do go in and redistrict, there's a chance they'll make 2 Republican seats more competitive in order to get rid of a Democrat seat. So you start to weigh the pros and cons of it. So if you add it all together, you can kind of see here where we are with what is in play, because like Mississippi's highlighted in yellow. Their governor just said, you know what, we're not going to do it. I don't think it's the right time. They have 1 seat down there. It would go from 3-1 to 4-0. So this shows you just where we are all across the board. If all of these seats together if all these states did their redistricting, it's going to favor Republicans quite a bit. Your GOP gains are up to 17 seats. Your Democrat gains, as it is right now, just 6 seats. All of this work, all of this time, all that money they spent in Virginia, GOP's coming out upwards of double-digit seats better. I mean, 6 seats for Democrats to gain with all they did in California. It shows you that sometimes you don't want to poke the bear because it'll come out of the cave.
All right. So the Democrats are predicted to pick up 6 seats, and the Republicans are predicted to pick up as many as 17 seats. Wouldn't that be amazing? Now, this morning, I told you the acting attorney general mentioned that there are too many ballots in Maryland compared to voting age Americans. Now we're finding out it's much, much worse than any of us ever guessed. According to a new report, Maryland officials are being forced to reissue roughly 400,000 mail-in ballots after a vendor error sent thousands of voters the wrong party ballot ahead of the June primary. The Maryland Freedom Caucus is calling this a crisis, demanding a federal review of the state's voter rolls and a full audit to determine how such a massive breakdown happened and how the state plans to distinguish between the first and second round of ballots. So they've got too many ballots for too few voters. And then on top of that, they switched them. And so the whole thing is all kinds of screwed up there. Now, election officials insist there is no fraud. There's no fraud, saying that this is just a printing error, and promising now that it's been caught, or that they've been caught, that replacement ballots will go out and that there will be accuracy. But we're not talking about like 400 or 500 ballots. We're talking about 400,000 to 500,000 flawed or duplicate ballots in one state. This is not good, and hopefully they can get this thing remedied. And thank goodness somebody was able to catch that, because otherwise we would have a major issue. Now, President Trump, he decided to weigh in on this and about his concerns for cheating. Listen to what he shared today.
Speaking out against a massive mail-in ballot error in Maryland.
Yeah, terrible.
How concerned are you about election integrity as Americans are heading into the midterms?
I'm very concerned about it. I'm very concerned about mail-in ballots. We're the only country in the world that's doing mail-in ballots. And A mail-in ballot is, by just the nature of it, it's going to be corrupt. So many people handle it. You go into a well-run voting booth in a certain state, we'll pick a state, but you go into, and I mean, they look, even me, I went in Florida and went to vote, and they said, "Sir, I hate to do it. I'm so embarrassed. Could I see your identification?" I said, "Really? Do you really want to do that? Please, sir. I'll lose my job if I don't do it." I was very proud to hand her identification and everything else. I mean, you want to have proof of citizenship. You want to have a voter ID. You want to have all these things. But to me, maybe the worst of all is the mail-in ballots where they come in. So as you know, in Maryland, 500,000 fake ballots were sent out. When they were caught, they said, "Oh, we'll pull them back." And they issued 500,000 new ballots. And as you know, they never got the original ballots back. So there are 1 million ballots out there. Many of them went to Democrats, and it's a very serious thing. And I'll tell you, I've looked at Maryland for a long time, and I know Maryland pretty well. And I was told that it's automatically a Democrat state. And I don't believe that, because I think I did really well there, and I don't believe it. But they issued, as you just got caught recently, 500,000 ballots, illegal ballots were sent out, and they were totally fraudulent. And then they said, "Oh, we'll pull them back." Well, they didn't pull them back, and they have 500,000 new ballots go. So what happens to the original? Are they going to come in, and are they going to come in and infect our system? So it's a very, very serious thing that's happened. And I've asked the law enforcement to look at it very, very strenuously. I want to thank you all. This is so.
All right. So there's 500,000 extra ballots floating around in a state that can go one way or the other by like 10,000 votes. So it's a massive deal, this big mistake that they made, and hopefully it will be corrected. If you're a homeowner in America, you need to listen to this. The FBI has been warning about a type of real estate fraud on the rise called title theft, and your equity is the target. Here's how it works. Criminals forge your signature on a single document, use a fake notary stamp, and file it with the county. And just like that, on record, they own your home. They then use that ownership to take out loans against your equity or even sell your property without your knowledge. And you don't find out about it until the bank puts you into foreclosure or you start getting collection notices in the mail. That's why I've partnered with Home Title Lock, so you can protect your equity and find out today if you're already a victim. Use my promo code Gardner at HomeTitleLock.com, and you'll get a free title history report and a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title record, urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud occurs, their US-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix it. Find out today why so many trust Home Title Lock. Don't be a victim. Protect your equity right now. That's HomeTitleLock.com, promo code Gardner, or I'll leave a link down below. Top scientists have come out and said they've actually gotten a lot wrong on climate change as well as global warming. Listen to what President Trump said at the United Nations. But first, let me read you what he just recently said. Good riddance after 15 years of Democrats promising that climate change is going to destroy the planet. The United Nations top climate committee just admitted its own projections were wrong. For far too long, climate activism has been used by Democrats to scare Americans, push horrible energy policies, and fund billions into their bogus research programs, unlike Democrats who use climate alarmism nonsense to push their Green New scam. My administration will always be based on truth, science, and fact. Now, listen to how he ripped them apart in this 1-minute video.
But we're not letting this happen in America. In 1982, the executive director of the United Nations Environmental Program predicted that by the year 2000, climate change would cause a global catastrophe. He said that it will be irreversible, as any nuclear holocaust would be. This is what they said at the United Nations. What happened? Here we are. Another UN official stated in 1989 that within a decade, entire nations could be wiped off the map by global warming. Not happening. You know, it used to be global cooling. If you look back years ago in the 1920s and the 1930s, they said, global cooling will kill the world. We have to do something. Then they said global warming will kill the world. But then it started getting cooler. So now they could just call it climate change, because that way they can't miss. It's climate change. Because if it goes higher or lower, whatever the hell happens, there's climate change. It's the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world.
All right. So as you know, he's not a big fan of that. But even these top scientists, they're now coming out saying, we're sorry, a lot of our data has actually led to bad information. Like we got it wrong. We absolutely got it wrong. President Trump has just hit the pause button on what could have been the biggest single strike on Iran. According to the New York Post, President Trump told reporters he was prepared to launch the biggest attack on Iran tomorrow, but he pulled back at the last minute after Gulf partners, including Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and UAE, asked him to stand down because they have some serious negotiations going on. Trump said he's postponing the operation, not canceling it, and made it clear that Iran is still running out of time to accept a deal. He wants the Strait of Hormuz reopened. He wants them to rejoin global trade as a global energy provider. The White House says the U.S. blockade and military pressure will remain in place. But as of right now, he is not going to bomb Iran back into the Stone Age. So many are saying, oh, President Trump tacoed, Trump always chickens out. But I don't want him to blow up Iran. I want them to just let oil flow and stop trying to kill all your neighbors. But listen to what President Trump shared.
Speak a little bit about your post on Truth Social on Iran, and what was the decision that why you didn't attack it?
Well, other countries have come to me and they've said we were getting ready to do a very major attack tomorrow. I put it off for a little while, hopefully maybe forever, but possibly for a little while, because we've had very big discussions with Iran, and we'll see what they amount to. I was asked by Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, and some others if we could put it off for 2 or 3 days, a short period of time, because they think that they are getting very close to making a deal. And if we can do that where there's no nuclear weapon going into the hands of Iran, I think, and if they're satisfied, we will be probably satisfied also. We've informed Israel. We've informed other people in the Middle East that have been involved with us. And it's a very positive development, but we'll see whether or not it amounts to anything. We've had periods of time where we thought pretty much getting close to making a deal, and didn't work out, but this is a little bit different. Now we're ready going tomorrow, very big, and not something I wanted to do, but we have no choice because we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon.
Speak a little bit about your...
Okay, so postponed for now. He's waiting on Middle East partners to let us know what's going on. But he said later, the United States is locked and loaded. If they do not come to a deal, then we are going to hit them once again. Sadly, there was an active shooter situation at a school in the final weeks of class in San Diego. The Islamic Center of San Diego, the largest mosque in the county, became the scene of a horrific attack when 2 gunmen opened fire late Monday morning. Police say the shooter, believed to be 17 and 19-year-olds, targeted men outside the mosque. Early reports indicate multiple victims. At least one was a security guard. As of right now, it looks like 5 are dead and many are injured. San Diego police labeled it as an active shooter and terrorism. SWAT team, emergency medical crews were all on the scene. The FBI is now investigating this as a hate crime. Images of the scene are pretty gory, so I'm not going to show them, but worshipers, school children, frantic families all running out of the building. It does look like the 2 shooters were either killed or committed suicide. There's a lot of information that still needs to come out, but just an absolute tragedy. All right, if you found value in today's daily news, please give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, stay amazing, and I will see you on the next video.